Welcome back, everyone, to another late night here on the East Coast. How y'all doing? Hopefully, Frost Cookies doesn't miss out on this. I know he'd be a little bit upset. Well, maybe not this one. I mean, his big Ultima, and mine is 7. This is Ultima 1. Oh, it's a band. That's kind of cool. Ultima 1 is many things. A perfect game is not one of them, but that's alright. So originally, you're going to see here, it's going to say 1986 or 1987, I believe, for the copyright. Lord British, a little bit of a backstory, and I apologize. We're going to start this one with about 3 to 5 minutes of just sort of talking while the intro plays. Intro with air quotes. This actually looks a lot better than it did when I played it originally. It was on the Apple II. I believe this is the PC Engine version. Which, you know, there's a couple differences. For this game, it doesn't really matter. It just makes it a little bit harder. Essentially, the Apple II version, you gain statistics a little bit easier, just a little. So you know, it's neither here nor there. But some of the later ones, there are massive differences. Anyway, Lord British, also known as Richard Garriott, was my hero. Absolutely. I love the guy. I will generate a new character, thank you. He was my hero for most of my early life. You know, I really wanted to be like him. He was a game designer, you know, through his college years, and he played, you know, Dungeons and Dragons and stuff like that. And then he just eventually became, you know, this guy who started up a video game company and kept producing RPGs that he was making in his like canon, and really really cool. You know, I've always loved that about him, and it didn't change him as much as some. He had some really weird things he did, but it just sort of added to the fun. And it was one of those things I was like, man, when I grow up, I hope I get to be the nerd that I am now. And I mean, obviously, we all change, but I know I'm 26 and I'm still kind of nerdy, so that's all right. Well, okay, I'm extremely nerdy. Um, but anyway, yeah. It was actually made in 1981, Ultima 1, so it's a very old game. 1986-87 was the computer re-release. That's when Origin Systems came in and said, hey, well, I mean, he kind of founded Origin Systems, but anyway, that's when the main programming company, Origin, sort of made them and sort of did a wide release. Up until that, they were just sort of diskettes he handed out and around. I don't think it got like sort of widespread until I want to say Ultima 3. There was a game before this. It's called Akalabeth. It's known as Ultima Zero. Technically, it's its own game. It's pretty basic. It feels like, I mean, to anyone that's ever done game design at home, or in a computer class, it feels like something you would have made there. You just sort of go to castle. Here is quest. Kill monster in dungeon. You go to dungeon, you kill monster, and you come right back. Ultima 1 is a little bit more advanced than that. The Ultima games up until 4, we're going to be talking a little bit about canon. Canon's going to be an interesting thing in the Ultima series. It changes. There are retcons. We're going to try and rationalize it the best we can, but we'll work through it together. Starting with Ultima 1, though, we don't have to worry about canon. Lord British is a man. He is in a castle, and he is not the king of the world yet. Not yet. That's not till Ultima 4. You can argue Ultima 3 starts getting pretty big. Anyway, Ultima 1, he is just a dude. And we are just a simple warrior. The other thing we have to decide is, are we canonically the Avatar? The Avatar is going to be the main character for the rest of the games, starting with 4. Number 4, you become the Avatar. And the thing is, are we going to be the same character? We, like, should we have the canonical character who goes through and does everything as the Avatar will? That's sort of a hard thing to say. Um, we're going to decide that around Ultima 4. Because in Ultima 1, and to a lesser extent 2, you have to do some um, pretty crazy things to complete the game. Some pretty not good guy things. So, anyway, sorry, enough waffling around. If you really... Now, Ultima 1 I'm quite good at. Ultima 2, so-so. But Ultima 1 I am very good at. I played it a lot on the Apple II, as I've mentioned. If you really want to beat this game, if you want to have any chance, yeah, just got to get that strength up as high as you can, because strength is the only statistic that is a pain in the ass to raise. It's also the most important, in my opinion, because it increases your damage, essentially. Agility is your chance to hit. Stamina is your... Just think of it like a defense. All these are very basic, of course. Charisma is the shittiest stat. Charisma is your selling, like the value you sell something at is multiplied by your charisma. Not buying, just selling. Buying is your intellect. It's a bit of an interesting choice. Intellect also increases the power of your spells. Wisdom increases the chance to cast a spell successfully. And I think starting in Ultima 2, they realize Charisma's kind of shit, so they make it lower the cost of spells. But not the cost of buying the spell. That's Wisdom. It'll get a bit confusing. But anyway, just know in Ultima 1, Charisma is a shitty stat, and you should feel bad for ever having it. So we are going to be putting points into Agility, probably, to hit. I kind of like that. We could go all the way to 25 if I wanted. I do want a little bit in Intelligence, though. I might even chunk it like this. Ugh, I feel bad doing that. I think that's what we do, though. Oh, I'm a liar. I just need enough in Intelligence to cast the Ladder Up and Ladder Down spell, as they're the most important ones. And I think 15 is enough to buy those. I can't remember. So we press spacebar. Yep. There's a lot you could argue about which race. Either you go elf, and you get some agility and intelligence, I believe. I think that's what you get. Maybe elf just gives intelligence. I can't remember. Anyway, dwarf is the one that gives strength, though. So that's the most important. You get a little bit there. We're going to be male because it doesn't really matter. And canonically, the Avatar is going to be human. So I guess we already broke canon. Whoopsie dips. That's fine. We're going to be a fighter, though. So these classes here. Oh shit, I don't have my phone on me. I should probably double check if I'm live. 2 seconds, everybody. Sorry for this. We have had a little bit of issue with Twitch, so I just want to make sure we're streaming before I get too far into it. I don't mind repeating my whole, like, spiel at the beginning.